Hi, welcome to Endurance Sweat. This video is all about Zwift's Climb Portals. Let's jump right into it. Zwift has created two portals, one in Watopia and one in France. And those portals take you to a totally artificial floating world. Here's a quick view of what that simulated world looks like, floating in space. And once you go through the portals, well, then you can climb simulations of iconic real-life climbs. We'll take a look at the list of those climbs, courtesy of Zwift Insider. I'll provide the link to the list in the video description. We'll scroll down through the list. You can see there are a fair number of climbs. And if you click on any of the climbs, you'll get a detailed description and the VeloViewer profile. Really helpful. Here are a few notable climbs on the list. From the Tour de France, the Col de la Madone, and two giants, the Tourmalet and Galibier. From Spring Classics, there's the Cipressa and Poggio from Milan-San Remo, Oud de Quermont from the Tour of Flanders, and the Cauberg from the Amstel Gold Race. Other notables include Mount Fuji in Japan, the Old Wollonga Hill in Australia, and the Old La Honda in the United States. But there are some notable missing climbs. There really doesn't seem to be any from the Giro d'Italia. For example, the Stelvio and the Pordoi, or the Finestra. And two of the toughest climbs that the Pro Peloton tackles, the Zoncolan in Italy and the Angliru in Spain, while they're missing too. But who knows, Zwift can always add additional climbs to their collection. The portal climbs are not available on demand, but rather on a rotating schedule. There's the Climb of the Week, for which you can earn an XP bonus, Climb of the Month, no XP bonus, and not even a completion banner. And the schedule updates weekly for Climb of the Week at noon Eastern Time, or 1700 hours Coordinated Universal Time. You can see the schedule on Zwift.com or on Zwift Insider. On the Zwift Insider schedule, it also shows the number of XP associated with each climb of the week. And if you click on any of the climbs, it'll give you a detailed description and the VeloViewer profile. I'll include the links to these web pages in the description of the video. For each of the climb, there are elevation options. You can ride them at 100% to simulate the real-life climb, or at 75% elevation or 50% elevation. There's even a super elevation option of 125%. Note that the 125% option is locked out until you've completed the 100% option. And if you choose the 50% or 75% option, while the selected difficulty will not qualify for Strava leaderboards. Now, if you watched my video on trainer difficulty, you might be wondering how elevation options relate to trainer difficulty. Well, it's different altogether. Elevation options are 4 distinct changes in elevation. You might remember that trainer difficulty does not change the elevation. And so now you might be thinking, well, can you use trainer difficulty on the Climb portal? Well, yes, you can. And it will give you simulated lower gears for the elevation option that you've chosen. Each of the climbs are color-coded by grade. So, for example, yellow is 1 to 4% grade, and red is greater than 8%. But take note that the color coding is adjusted for each option. So for the 50% option, red becomes greater than 4% grade. Each of the Climb Portal climbs is divided into 10 equal segments by distance. And at each segment banner, you can get a featherweight power-up, 10 XP, or 250 XP. And yes, the 20 XP per kilometer still applies. Now about that 250 XP. For climbs of 650 meters and greater, and with the real-life 100% option selected, or the heroic 125% option selected, the probability of getting that 250 XP is 10%. So over the whole climb, the 10 segments, there's a good chance that you'll get that 250 XP. But for climbs of 65 meters or less, or for climbs at 130 meters or less at the 50% option, why that probability of getting the 250 XP is only a measly 1%. So you've either got to work really, really hard or be very, very lucky to get the 250 XP bonus. Now, how do we access this Climb of the Week and Climb of the Month? Well, from the Zwift game home screen, look under Challenges, and the Climb of the Week will be at the extreme right-hand side. I'll click on it. We'll see it's Côte de Pike, and I'll click on this tile, and it says Côte de Pike, and take note, it says this climb is going to be accessed from France. Just remember that for the moment. And then if you scroll down, you can pick which elevation option you'd like to choose. 50%, 75, real world at 100. And if you've completed the real world climb, why, then you can do the heroic 125% option. But for now, I want you to remember that this Climb of the Week is shown as starting from the portal in France. And we'll go back. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom, under Just Ride, you'll see that climb is also listed here, Côte de Pike. But when I click on it, now it's showing as starting from the portal in Watopia. So I don't know what's going on. I've also seen where this tile has been an entirely different climb altogether. And the tile immediately to the right, in this case Mount Fuji, why, it's the Climb of the Month. And it's starting from the portal in France. And again, you have the option to choose halved, moderate, real world, or 125 heroic option. Now remember, this version of Côte de Pike is starting in Watopia. So if I click on Routes and Watopia, now if I scroll down, you can see it's also listed under Routes. And just one other thing I want to mention. If you want to get those XP bonuses for Climb of the Week, why, you ought to choose it from this tile right here to make sure you get credit for that Climb of the Week. Now, just a couple of other points about the Climb Portals. If you're accessing a climb from the Climb Portal in Watopia, the lead-in is 0.8 kilometers. And accessing a Climb Portal from France, the lead-in is 2.4 kilometers. And you can also access the Climb Portals when you're free riding, and I'll show you that in a moment. But just be aware, if you access the Climb Portal while you're free riding, why, it may not count for the Climb of the Week. To be sure, I'd suggest either for the Climb of the Week or the Climb of the Month, you choose them from the designated portals on the Zwift homepage. Climb portal ahead. And now we're coming up to the Climb portal. There you can see it ahead. And now before I enter the Climb portal, you see that I have the choice again of which elevation I'd like to do. 50% elevation, 75, 100. And I haven't done this climb at the 100% elevation before, so the 125 elevation option is locked out. And you can see if I choose anything less than 100%, it says selected difficulty will not qualify for Strava leaderboards. And that goes for the 75 and 50% elevation. But I'll click on 100%. Okay, now let's go through that climb portal for Mount Fuji. And I'm going into a real gamified environment here. Now I want to go over the details of one of the climb portal tiles. We'll have a look starting on the left-hand side. At the top of the tile is the climb name and then the portal that you'll be using, either Watopia or France. Just below that is the total route distance. That's including the lead-in. And below that is the climb distance. And then you have the elevation options. Now let's look at the right-hand side. There's a difficulty rating of the climb. It's a score out of 5. And then for completed climbs, your best time and your percentile. Now, the percentile is a bit tricky. For climbs of the week, your percentile is based on all time. But for climbs of the month, it's based on your percentile just for the current month. And of course, at the bottom of the tile, it's Start Ride. Now I'm going to go over a in-game demo, but before I do, I want to go over the details on the game screen. On the top panel, we have your ride distance completed and the ride elevation completed. That's for the total ride, not just the climb. At the bottom of the panel, you can see climb distance remaining and elevation remaining, and your climb ETA. For the game screen, left and right panels, let's talk about the left-hand side panel first. At the top are your completed sections, and it will show you your average heart rate, your average power, and the time it took you to complete that section. And then below, the current section, the current grade, your heart rate, power, and time, and progress bar for that section. And then further below that are the upcoming sections, the grade, and your personal performance record time. And then at the bottom of the screen, your climb progress, so your progress for the whole climb, how many kilometers of the climb you've completed, and how many meters of the climb ascent you've completed. Now let's look at the right hand of the screen. It's the climb profile, and then the climb map. Okay, now it's time for an in-game demo. A real gamified environment here. Now each climb is divided into 10 equal parts. They do give you encouragement. Allez, allez. Now, at the end of each one of the 10 segments, there's a banner. You'll go under a banner and you may get a bonus. Let's see what bonus I get going under this banner. And I got 10 XP. Now when you're doing a portal climb, you will be earning drops at an accelerated rate because Zwift gives enhanced drops when you're doing a climb. And you can see the mountain logo in the drops counter. Now, as other riders catch you, or you pass other riders, you can see what difficulty they're doing by the logo on the back of their shorts. In that case, the rider is doing the 100% difficulty. And that rider is doing the 75% version. Oftentimes, you'll see the rider doing the 75% version or 50% version, passing the rider doing the 100% version. I'm coming up on another banner. Let's see what bonus I get here. And it's a featherweight power-up. And I'll want to use that before the next banner, but I'll wait to use it until I'm on a steeper part of the climb. And I look ahead and I see orange. And is that some red in the distance? Why, I sure would like to have the featherweight power-up if I'm going to be on that steep portion of the climb. Why, I'm at 7%, so I'll use that featherweight power-up right now. But you definitely have to use that featherweight before you go into the next banner. Otherwise, you won't get a chance at an additional bonus. There's a couple of other riders coming up behind me. Let's see what difficulty they're doing. And that rider is doing the 100% climb, and so is this one. I'm noticing when I click on the bottom of the screen that it's showing me there's a coffee stop. It's grayed out because there's no riders close to me. But let's see if it turns blue when I'm catch up or I'm on this ride when I'm passed by another rider. I'm guessing though that if you use the coffee stop, it will invalidate your Strava segment. Okay, here comes another rider. And yes, it turned blue. So I could use that coffee stop if I wanted to. Now, while you're doing the climb on your mini map up here, you can see when other riders are approaching, or you're approaching other riders. And there's a rider going by me. Oh, another banner coming up. I'm halfway there. And this time, another 10 XP. Okay, I'll take it. And keep on going. You can see there's an elevation marker every 100 meters of the climb. Okay, I'm almost there now. And I am done. Oh, wow. I did it. Oh, there we go. And now for the downhill. Oh, and now I can coast. Back through the climb portal and into the real world. Back to the real world of France on Zwift. And now when I scroll down to Mount Fuji here and I click on it, it shows that I've completed it. And now if I wanted to, I could do the heroic version. I think I'll pass though. There are 3 achievement badges you can earn while doing Climb Portal climbs. For completing one climb, you get the Portal Climber. And then 10 times, you'll get an achievement badge for Climb Portal Pro. And finally, for 25 times up a Climb Portal, you'll get Legs of Steel. For earning these Climb Portal achievement badges, all climbs count. It doesn't matter the elevation, whether it's a short climb or a monster climb. And all elevation options. The real life, of course, and the heroic, but also the 75% and even the 50% option. And you can do a climb multiple times. That may be attractive if it's a short climb. Climb up, roll back down, past the climb portal, and then circle back up. You can do it multiple times. So you may be wondering, well, why are people doing those 25 and 50% options? Well, maybe they want to quickly earn that Legs of Steel achievement badge. So some incentive to do those climbs on Zwift's Climb Portals. Why do portal climbs? Well, you can challenge yourself on GPS-accurate, iconic real-world climbs, but they are in a totally artificial environment. All the same, Zwift tries to make it interesting with segment banners, color-graded elevation roads, so I'll give you that. Perhaps you're taking a trip to the Pyrenees or the Alps, and you want to prepare yourself for one of these climbs. Well, here's your opportunity. But remember, these climbs are only available on a limited rotating basis. So the climb that you want to do, well, it may not be immediately available. And it's excellent training for short, sharp hills like Oud Quermont, or for extended climbs up to mountaintop passes. And perhaps you're competitive and you want to see how you rate on the Zwift percentile ranking or on Strava leaderboards. And maybe you just love hill climbing. Now, one time people did portal climbs for XP farming, because that 250 XP bonus, why, when Zwift portals first came out, they were available for all climbs, no matter the grade. And you could do a short climb with 10 segments and have a pretty good chance of getting 250 XP, even on a really short climb. And then for a while, Zwift had weekly workout of the week, and at the same time, weekly climb of the week and weekly road of the week. And you could do the weekly workout of the week in parallel with climb of the week or road of the week and earn XP bonuses for both at the same time, but that's no longer available. So there's not really any advantage doing climb portals to earn extra XP. Now I have to say, when I've been riding climb portals, I see lots and lots of riders doing them. So there seems to be a real appeal to many Zwifters. for doing climbs accessed through the Climb Portals. There are a couple of improvements that I'd like to see Zwift make to Climb Portals. Number one, I'd like to see a Climb Portal checklist. There's no way currently on Zwift to check how many climbs you've done and which climbs you've done. You can manually check your Zwift activities, but that means scrolling back, way back through your activity history, and it's limited to the past 250 activities. You can also search your Zwift Power activities on zwiftpower.com and search for Climb Portal climbs. And if you have a Strava account, you can also search that for Climb Portal climbs. But it may not work if you've renamed the activity. So my number one request would be a Climb Portal checklist. And number two, and this would be really cool, would be terrific, is if you went through that Climb Portal, why, rather than being in a totally artificial world, you were ported to a real-life simulation of the real climb. That would just be awesome. One workaround is to find a YouTube video for the climb that you're doing and then project it side by side with the Zwift climb that you're doing. It adds a touch of realism. Well, that's all for this video on Zwift Climb Portals. I hope you found it just a little bit helpful, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click on that notification bell. And until next time, train hard and have fun.